Iain from RTO here. I hope we're all well. Welcome to Friday's shows. First one is ranking live albums. This is the poll winner from a few weeks ago when Yes pipped UFO to the #1 spot. So we're doing Yes. Don't need much of an introduction. This band, progressive rock giants, been around over 50 years. I'm one of these people that I don't care who's in it because they're all fine musicians, and I'm not bothered who sings now because the music is there and they all sound the same. They've all got that distinctive high-pitched voice. I'm happy to listen to a live album with John Anderson and John Davidson, and I don't mind. They all sound pretty good. So we've got 19 live albums to look at, and I've included stuff from Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman and Howell, and I've also included the live from the Apollo with Wakeman, Rabin and Anderson. But before we start ranking, I'm just going to have an honourable mention to an Anderson, Bruford, Howell and Wakeman release live album from the NEC, recorded in 1989, didn't come out till 2010ish I think. It's a box set with the DVD and the CD. I haven't got it because I've actually got the live album, which we'll be talking about, but it's worth a mention because the DVD is pretty good. I've seen it and it's quite good, so the stuff off that album which we have reviewed is pretty good live anyway. So I thought I'd give it a mention. I might get it one day, you never know. So coming in at number 19, released in 1985, it's 9012, Live the Solos. This features John Anderson on the vocals and acoustic guitar, Trevor Rabin on guitars, Christopher Squire on the bass, Tony Kaye on piano and organ, and Alan White on the drums. First track is Hold On. Great track anyway, really good live. Then we get a Tony Kaye solo, Sigh. Then we have Solly's Beard, Trevor Rabin's solo, Soon. I love this from, of course, Relayer from John Anderson. Then we have a track from 90125 again, Changes, really good track. Then we get Chris Squire on the bass doing Amazing Grace, and then we get Whitefish, nice little piece of music. Then we get a couple of songs off 90125 again, City of Love, great track, and It Can Happen. I've got the DVD of this, the actual show. They should have released that as a live album. You never know, they might put it out one day, but I've got it on my iPod anyway. I'm not going to say how it ended up there, but it's on my iPod. But on the whole, I do like the stuff off this, even though the solos are a bit unnecessary. I'd much preferred proper tracks, but I still give it an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, then coming in at number 18, released in January of 2011, it's Union Live. This is the ill-fated union of the two amalgamations of the two sorts of Yes. The Yes led by John Anderson and the other Yes that had I can't remember who was singing, but it was all very complicated and all red tape rubbish. So they got together and made an album and went out on tour. The lineup was John Anderson on the lead vocals and tambourine, Steve Howell and Trevor Rabin on the guitars, Tony Kaye, Rick Wakeman on the keyboards, Chris Squire on the bass, Alan White on acoustic drums, and Bill Bruford on the electronic. As far as the album's concerned, it's got some good tracks on here. We've got the Firebird Suite, which is what always Yes open with. Yours is No Disgrace, Rhythm of Love, Heart of the Sunrise, Clap Mood for a Day, Make It Easy, Owner of the Lonely Heart, I've Seen Good All the Good People, Solly's Beard, Saving My Heart, Whitefish and Amazing Grace. We get a Rick Wakeman solo in Awakening and Roundabout. Now, I've seen the DVD to this. No one seems happy, and I just don't get it. I'm not very keen on this album. It's a shame because it's a good set of songs from the band, but it seems like they're all competing against each other, and it's not very pleasant. But for sound quality, it's better to listen to than watch. I'll give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Coming in at number 17 then, it's released in 1997. It's called Something's Coming, and it's the BBC recordings from 1969. Oh, I've got an itchy nose today. This is live recordings done in the studio like they did on the BBC back in them days. But it's still good. This has got the original lineup of John Anderson, Peter Banks, Chris Squire, Tony Kaye and Bill Bruford. Opens up with Something's Coming. I love that track. Every Day, Sweetness, Dear Father. Then you get the cover of Every Little Thing from the Beatles. Sweet Dreams, great track. Then another great track. Then we get the brilliant No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed. Really good track. It's got the big country theme in it. Really good. And one of my favourite tracks, always been a favourite track of me, The Astral Traveller. Really good. Then there's another version of Then on it, another version of Every Little Thing. Every Day's For Everyone, Sweetness, Someone's Coming Again and Sweet Dreams, and Beyond and Before. This is quite nostalgic. The quality is a bit iffy, but it's a good listen, and I give it an RTO ranking of 7.5. Okay, coming in at number 16, Like It Is, Yes, at the Bristol Hippodrome, released in 2014. This album is 2 live albums. You know, they did 2 albums all the way through. They did the Going for the One from 1977 and the Yes album, played from 1971. They played it in its entirety. This also was the first live album that Yes put out featuring John Davidson and Jeff Downes. So you've got John Davidson, Steve Howell, Chris Squire, Jeff Downes and Alan White. So the first disc is Going for the One, great track. Going for the One, to Another Century, another good track. Then you got the brilliant Parallels, followed up by the lovely Wondrous Stories, and John Davidson sings it really, really well. Then we got Awaken, one of my favourite tracks to end out this one, brilliant. Then on disc 2 you've got the Yes album, starts off of course with You All No Disgrace, and you get that little short thing called The Clap. Then we get the brilliant Starship Trooper, always one of my favourite tracks by Yes. Doesn't matter who sings it, I love it. Then we have I've Seen All Good People, another great track. Then Adventure, good track. And then Perpetual Change. Again, it's a really good album. Nice to hear the whole of Going for the One live. Okay, it's not John Anderson singing, but John Davidson does a cracking job on this. And I'll give it an RTO ranking of 7.6. Coming in at number 15 then is Like It Is, Yes, at the Mesa Art Centre. Recorded in 2014, released in 2015. Again, this is John Davidson, Steve Howell, Chris Squire, Jeff Downes and Alan White. And this time you get the whole of the Close to the Edge album and Fragile. 2 great albums. So it opens up with Close to the Edge. Again, this is one of my favourite tracks of all time. one of my favourite long tracks. Again, brilliant song. Great, it's just terrific. Then we get the beautiful You and I just love them keyboards in this, and Jeff Downes does it justice, of course, because he is a terrific keyboard player. And then we get Siberian Catro. I love the start of that. Really good track. So then on disc 2 we get the whole of Fragile. So we open up with the brilliant Roundabout. Then we get Cans and Brahms, We Are Heaven. Then one of my favourite tracks, South Side of the Sky. Cracking track. 5% of Nothing, that little ditty. Again, another classic track coming up, Long Distance Runaround. Then we get The Fish, Mood for the Day, and then that stonking track, Heart of the Sunrise. Great album, great musicians playing great songs. Doesn't matter who's not, you know, these guys are all fantastic musicians. And they sound as good as they did from the way back. Brilliant. I'll give this an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Purely because it's got one of my favourite Yes albums live, and I don't mind that John Davidson's singing it. Okay, then coming in at number 14, this is Yes 50 Live, released in 2019, part of the 50 years celebrations. This has got Steve Howell on it, Alan White, Jeff Downes, Billy Sherwood, who was a long time involvement with Yes. So when sadly Chris died, Billy was his easiest choice. He knew the stuff and he knew what was going on. John Davidson. This opens up with Close to the Edge, all 19 minutes of it. Fantastic. Nine Voices, Long Walker. Another good track. Sweet Dreams. Great to hear that again. Then we get Mad Grill. Again, don't hear that very often. Then we get one of the newer tracks from one of the later albums, We Can Fly From Here. Really good track. Then we get the beautiful Soon. Again, we get Awaken. Another classic track. Then we get Parallels. It's just brilliant. And then we get excerpts from The Ancient. Can't get any better. Yours Is No Disgrace. Excerpts from Georgia's Song and the Mood for a Day. Roundabout. And Starship Trooper. Great album celebrating 50 years of the band. Nice to see tracks from all parts of the catalogue going right back to the beginning. And then stuff from We Can Fly, which was the latest album at the time. Fantastic album, and I give it an RTO ranking of 8.3. Okay then, coming in at number 13, released in October of 2020, the Royal Affair Tour, live from Las Vegas. Again, this is featuring Steve Howell, Alan White, Billy Sherwood, Jeff Downes and John Davidson. This track, the opening track on this, is No Opportunity Necessary, No Experience Needed. Fantastic track. Then we get Tempest Fugit. Love that track. Then we get that brilliant opening of Going for the One. The whole track's fantastic. Then we have a bit of go back even further to I Have Seen All Good People. Another classic and staple track from on the live set. Siberian Catro. Don't get any better than that. Onward. And then we get a version of America. Now there's not many live versions of this floating about, but we get that. And then we get a track on here which is, it's a great version of it. It's Imagine, obviously John Lennon. It's nice that they've done it because of course Alan White drummed on the original. This is a great version. Jeff Downes is brilliant on this. John Davidson sings beautifully, and it's quite a fitting tribute to John Lennon and of course to Alan White. Then we get Roundabout, classic, and then we get One of my favourites again, Starship Trooper. On the whole, this is a great album. Again, I love all these Yes live albums because you get songs from different periods of their history, and I'll give this an RTO ranking of 8.6. Coming in at number 12 then, released in 2017, Topographic Drama. This is the first release live, any sort of album, since Chris Squire's sad death. So this is the first release of any Yes albums without no original member. So you've got Davidson, Howe, Sherwood, Downs and White, and you've got extra help from Jay Shellen. This is basically the whole of Drama, little bits of Topographic Tales, and a few others thrown in as well. So it opens up with the fantastic Machine Messiah. I love that start. White car, very short piece but brilliant. Does it really happen? Love that track. Into the Lens, another good track. Run Through the Light, they're just classic tracks. Drama's one of my favourite albums from Yes. Tempest Fugit, brilliant. Then we get the beautiful You and I, can't say any more about that. Heart of the Sunrise. Then we get some bits from Tropical Tales, whatever you want to call it. The Revealing the Science of God, very hoopy track. I still find it hard to get into this album, but I like the live version. Leaves Are Green, really good track. Ritual, again very long, bit freaky in the middle, but one of the best. They picked the best two tracks off that album anyway, so these are the better tracks. Then we get Roundabout, of course, and Starship Trooper. Terrific album, purely for the whole of Drama. John Dameson does a sterling job singing that, and I give it an RTO ranking of 8.7. Okay, coming in at number 11, released I think at the same time as the 50th, because it's 50 years, about 2015-ish. It's Live from the Apollo, that featured John Anderson, Trevor Rabin and Rick Wakeman, with the help of Lee Pomeroy and Louis Molinio on drums. Opens up with bit of Firebird, of course, and then Cinema that goes straight into Perpetual Change, which is great. Another version of Hold On, I've Seen All the Good People, Lift Me Up, You and I, Rhythm of Love, Heart of the Sunrise, Changes, Long Distance Run Around, In the Fish Together, Awaken, Make It Easy, Loner of a Lonely Heart, and Roundabout. John Anderson's vocals on this are terrific. Rick Wakeman, as ever, brilliant. Trevor Rabin's a great guitarist. It's not Yes, but it was near enough, damn it. And it was a great album, and I'll give it an RTO ranking of 8.8. Okay, let's move into the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is In the Present, live from Lyon. It was a 2 CD DVD released in 2011, and it featured Benoit David on vocals, Steve Howell, Chris Squire, Oliver Wakeman, Rick Sun and Alan White. And we know we got the picture in it, but that's the actual disc. Absolutely stonking. I don't know if you can see it. Absolutely stonking album. Opens up with Siberian Catro, fantastic song. I've Seen All Good People, Tempest Fugit, Onward, Astral Traveller. This is a super version of it. Yours Is No Disgrace, Corker, You and I love this. And then we get some bits from Steve Howell's solo career, Corkscrew and Second Initial. They're pretty solid tracks. Owner of a Lonely Heart, the brilliant South Side of Scar of the Sky, Machine Messiah. This is cracking again. Heart of the Sunrise, Roundabout, Starship Trooper. It's a terrific album. Listen to it quite a lot. I like watching it as well. And I'll give it an RTO ranking of 8.9. Coming in at number 9, House of Yes, live from the House of Blues, released in 2000. This features John Anderson lead vocals, Steve Howell lead guitar, Billy Sherwood on guitars, so he has been around a bit with the band, Chris Squire on bass, Alan White on drums, and Igor Khrushchev on the keyboards. He was a great keyboard player. Opens up with Yours Is No Disgrace. Great track. Then we get a little bit from Time in a Word. Brilliant stuff. Homeward, obviously from The Ladder. Perpetual Change. Great to hear that again. Lightning Strikes, another track from The Ladder. The Messenger from The Ladder. Then we get Ritual, get 59 seconds of it, but that goes into the beautiful You and I. Then we get It'll Be Good, Be a Good Day, another song from The Ladder. Face to Face, another song from The Ladder. The Ladder is a pretty good album anyway, and these live tracks are fantastic. I've Seen All Good People. Then you get Cinema, Lone of Their Only Hearts, and Roundabout. Cracking album. Really good songs on here. Nice to hear some live modern stuff. So I'll give it an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Right, coming in at number 8 is an album that was released in May 2015 called Progeny. 7 shows from 72. Now this, when it come out, was a 14 CD live album, and it consisted of 7 complete shows recorded in 1972 during the Close to the Edge tour. Now I haven't got these because I couldn't see the point of buying a 14 set box set when it's the same set from the shows. So I opted to buy the highlights from 72, which gets the best recordings of all that tour. So on this we've got John Anderson on vocals and percussion, Steve Howell guitar, Chris Squire bass, Rick Wakeman on the keyboards, and Alan White on the drums. So you get that opening bit from the Firebird Suite, goes straight into Siberian Catro. Classic versions of these songs when they were at their peak. I've Seen All Good People, Heart of the Sunrise, Clap Mood for a Day, You and I. Then Close to the Edge. This is probably the best version of Close to the Edge of a live recording. It's stunning. Then we get some of Rick Wakeman's excerpts from The Six Wives of Henry VIII, which is a cracking album, and we will be looking at his solo stuff very, very soon. Then we get Roundabout, and it ends up with Yours Is No Disgrace. I love this album. It's nice to get an album of classic Yes from that classic period, and I give it an RTO ranking of 9.1. Coming in at number 7 is An Evening of Yes Music, released by Anderson, Bruford, Wakeman and Howell in 1993. So this has got John Anderson, Bill Bruford, Rick Wakeman and Steve Howell, of course, and we've got Jeff Berlin, Julian Colback and Milton McDonald helping out. Absolutely stonking album. Starts off, obviously they don't use the Firebird Suite, they use The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra. Then it goes into it's like John Anderson coming on and doing a little bit. He does a bit of Time for the Word acoustically, Owner of a Lonely Heart. Then it goes into Tika Boss from the Anderson, Bruford, Howell and Wakeman. Got Steve Howell's Clap. Then you got Rick Wayman doing bits from Magriel, Catherine Parr and Merlin the Magician. You get Long Distance Run Around. It includes a Bill Bruford drum solo. Birthright, You and I, Starship Trooper. Then you get Close to the Edge. This is a great version of this as well. Then you get Themes, which is from their album. Brother of Mine, I love that. Great track. Then we get Heart of the Sunrise, Order of the Universe, another great track from that Anderson, Bruford and Howell and Wakeman album. And then it ends up with Roundabout. Great live album. I love this to bits. And I give it an RTO ranking of 9.3. Okay, coming in at number 6. This is a box set. The Word is Live. Released in 2005. It's stuff recorded between 1970 and 1988. Most of it come from Steve Howell's tape collection. So you've got lots of people on this from different concerts. You've got John Anderson on it, Peter Banks, Bill Bruford, Tony Kaye, Chris Squire, Steve Howell, Rick Wakeman, Alan White, Patrick Moraz, Jeff Downes, Trevor Horn and Trevor Rabin. The first bit is from the early days. This is recorded between 1970 and 1971, I think, yeah. So you've got Then, For Everyone, Astral Traveller, great version on this, Everydays. Yours Is Known Disgrace, I've Seen All Good People, another cracking version of America, all the way through. It's Love, and on the second disc, this is recorded around about 76 up till 79. So you've got Copalypse, Siberian Catro, Sound Chaser, brilliant version that is. Sweet Dreams, great. Future Rejoice, another nice track. Circle of Heaven, fantastic. Then you get the big medley, which is A Time and a Word, Long Distance Run Around, The Fish, Soon, superb. Hello Chicago and Roundabout. This third disc, Heart of the, these are from 78 up till 88. So you get the Heart of the Sunrise, fantastic track. Awaken, it's brilliant. Go Through This, Steve Howell, little bit. We Can Fly From Here, recorded in 1980, so that's been hanging around a long time. So you've got Trevor Horn singing on that. Rhythm of Love, it's alright. Hold On, not too bad. Shoot High, Aim Low. Now I love that track of Big Generator, and it's even better live. Then it ends up with Lonely Heart. It is a great little collection of Yes Through the Years. What I like about it, you don't have to play it all the way through. You can put one disc on at a time. It's a cracking box set, and I give it an RTO ranking of 9.4. Okay, coming in at number 5, songs from Tsongas. Tsongas is in Massachusetts. Can't even say it. Recorded in 2004 and released in 2005, about their 35th anniversary celebrations, and it's the last live album that featured John Anderson. This is a terrific album. This has got what I call one of the classic lineups. It's John Anderson, Steve Howell, Rick Wakeman and Chris Squire and Alan White. Obviously it opens up with the Firebird Suite as usual. Then we get Going for the One, Sweet Dreams again, always great to hear that. I've Seen All Good People. Now what I like about this album, there's a track on here called Mind Drive. Now Mind Drive was on the Keys to Ascension, or if I've got it on Key Studios as well. It's one of the newer tracks they recorded this lineup, but to hear it live, it's a fantastic track. Then you get South Side of the Sky again, terrific track. Turn of the Century, fantastic version of that. My Eyes is next again from that re-recording. Then you get Mind Drive Part 3. Yours Is No Disgrace. Then you get The Meeting Room, which is a piano solo from Rick Wakeman. Long Distance, Run Around, an acoustic version. These are all, the rest of these are acoustics versions, and they're terrific. Wondrous Story, the acoustic version of that is brilliant. The Time Is Time, lovely. Now the acoustic version of Roundabout is fantastic. Rhythm of Love, oh, not Rhythm of Love, Owner of a Lonely Heart, Second Initial, acoustic again, Rhythm of Love. Then you get You and I, Ritual, Everything, Little Thing. I've not played that in a long time. And Starship Trooper, terrific album, one of my favourites, of course. And I give it an RTO ranking of 9.5. Coming in at number 4 then. Released in 2002. This is Symphonic live. This is with a symphonic orchestra. It's actually from the European Festival Orchestra, conducted by Wilhelm Kittel, and it featured John Anderson, Steve Howe, Chris Squire, and Alan White, and keyboards were done by Tom Brislin. You get an overture, and then we get Close to the Edge with the orchestra. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Then you get Starship Trooper. Absolutely brilliant. Then you get Magnification. Now the album Magnification was done with an orchestra as well, so the live version of that is terrific. I love that album, and that song is fantastic. Then you get You and I, which sounds brilliant. And you get the Gates of Deliriums on here as well. And you get Steve Howe's guitar solo. It's just terrific stuff. I've Seen All Good People, Owner of a Lonely Heart, and Roundabout. Brilliant album. I've got the DVD to this as well. It's fantastic. And I give it an RTO ranking of 9.7. Okay, coming in at number 3, live album released in 2007, live at Montreux 2003. This is that second classic lineup, as I call it, the John Anderson, Chris Squire, Steve Howe, Rick Wayman, and Alan White. You got Siberian Catcher on it, Magnification, and a brilliant version of Don't Kill the Whale. And we get In the Presence Of, brilliant to hear that again. We Are Heaven, South Side of the Sky, great track. You and I again, wouldn't be a Yes concert without that. To Be Over, Clap. Then you get Show Me. Then you get the Rick Wakeman melody, of course, that features Catherine of Aragon, Catherine Howard, Jane Seymour, and the Montreux Jig. We get The Heart of the Sunrise, Long Distance, Run Around, The Waken. I Have Seen All Good People again, and Roundabout. Love this album again. And I'll give it an RTO ranking of 9.8. Moving into the big top 2, it's always going to be certain 2 albums. So coming in at number 2 is the album released in 1980, Yesshows. This features John Anderson, Steve Howe, Chris Squire. Patrick Moraz plays on a couple of tracks, Gates of Delirium and Ritual, and Rick Wayman's keyboards on the others, and Alan White. This opens up with the brilliant parallels. I love that. Then we get A Time in a Word, Going for the One. And then on side 2 you get the whole of the Gates of Delirium. This is probably the best version of this song. It's got Patrick Moraz playing on the keyboard. It's fantastic. Then we get Don't Kill the Whale, Ritual Part 1, and Part 2 as well. Just brilliant. Wondrous Stories. Can't get any better. I've Seen All Good People and Roundabout. Fantastic album. And I'm considering this is from them days, the sound quality is fantastic. And I give it an RTO ranking of 9.9. So it's obvious what number one is. It was their first live album they put out, a triple album from 1973. Of course, it's Yessongs. This is a fantastic album. What I like about it, it features probably everyone that was involved at that time. So you've got John Anderson, Chris Squire, Steve Howell, Rick Wakeman, Bill Bruford, drums on Long Distance Run Around the Fish and Perpetual Change, and you've got Alan White and all the others. So it opens up with the chorus, the Firebirds Suite, which goes straight into the Siberian Catro, Heart of the Sunrise. Great stuff. Perpetual Change, great to hear Bill Bruford live with the band. You and I, fantastic. Mood for the Day. You get some excerpts from Wakeman's Six Wives of Henry VIII. And you get Roundabout, best version live. I've Seen All Good People, terrific version. And then we get Close to the Edge, solid, again one of the best versions. Yours Is No Disgrace, and it ends up with the Starship Trooper, and that is the best live version I've got of this. Again, they've remastered this so it even sounds better. I would say this is one of the quintessential progressive rock live albums that everyone that's into prog rock should have. It's a fantastic album, and of course it gets a 10 from me. One of my favourite albums. That's been quite a long one, but it's worth doing because I love the live albums from Yes. Doesn't matter who's singing, they all sound brilliant. Now, one of my friend who sort of said, he told me who he thinks my number one was. Was he right? I'm sure he'll let me know when he watches this. We'll be back later with not a one-hit wonder this year time, but a brand new. Well, it's not a new album. It came out in July. It's Bifford from Saxon, his son Seb. Heavy Water they're called, and it's Red Brick City. So I'll be back for that later. So I'll see you later. Take care for now.